Tommy, defeat here at Steel Park this afternoon. I can only imagine you're bitterly disappointed.
It's not good enough. I just said to the boys then. I put them on a pedestal. I give them all the confidence they need. To the point where I say publicly the fact that I'm happy with the squad and I'm sticking by them. I can't keep saying these nice false things, to be honest with you now, because 2 defeats in the league on the spin, it's not good enough against teams that, looking at the fixture list before, it should have been 6 points and we've got none, and that's not good enough. And unfortunately for me, I'm responsible for them, so I'll be the one that takes the flak. My bosses, and they've obviously just heard what I've got to say about them, so it has to work like that as a bit of a chain. Could be a busy weekend for me now. I've got obviously big decisions to make, whether or not I stick with what I've got or I start shuffling the pack a little bit, because I can't keep accepting this. I want to have a good season this year. I'm not settling for second best. I'm not consolidating and working for next year. I'm here to do something this season.
Of course, it started very well. 2nd minute into the game, Eddie Appleton again up from a Greg Mills corner, 1-0. At that point, you must have thought, it's exactly what I wanted. This is where we want to be. We've set the foundation. Let's go on.
You couldn't have wished for a better start against a side that are struggling in the league and they've conceded 50 goals. They score a lot, but the reality is they've conceded 50 goals. So much praise for them. They've had to drive by themselves up from BIDEFORD, 3.5–4 hours in the car. They've gone 1-0 down after 2 minutes, and they've won a game of football away from home against a team that's second in the table. Now, if you're their manager, you must be the proudest man, and they're singing karaoke in that dressing room. I've opened up our dressing room and the boys can now listen to BIDEFORD singing One Direction and Ed Sheeran to them, because they deserve that. So much praise for them, but a lot of disappointment on our behalf.
It looked like in the first half it was a very difficult game. Corby just didn't get started. That had that early break. They got the goal, but after that they couldn't find anything else in front of goal to get away from, apart from the one great piece of football. Yeah. Carvalho, Taylor, and Spencer Weir-Daly unfortunately missing in the front of goal.
That happens, I'm not gonna blame Spencer Weir-Daly for missing it for 3 yards. There'll be a lot better players than Spencer Weir-Daly on Match of the Day tonight missing exactly the same chance. So it was great play from us. It started with for Walker, quick counter attack, great willingness to run from Cleveland and Wilson, and fortunately for Spencer, he has put it over the bar. He'll probably feel a little bit guilty, and I'm sure that'll be haunting him all night. But we weren't at it today. And it's not the nicest phrase in the world, but when you've got somebody by the throat and they're struggling after 2 minutes of a game, you've got to finish them off. Need to be more ruthless, more clinical, and we stopped, and then we obviously laid down and died, if you like, at the end. No fight, nothing about us at all.
It must have been a very difficult half-time break, team talk at that point as well, and then you also substituted Shane Byrne. What was the reason for that?
2 reasons really, to be honest with you. He wasn't playing well, and secondly he was on a yellow card. He looked like he was going to get sent off, so 2 justified reasons. Shane hasn't really got anything to come back to me and ask the question. He'll know himself, so I expect nothing to come from that. It could have been anyone, to be honest with you. I could have probably brought 5 or 6 off at half time, and we were winning 1-0. It was that bad, to be honest. From the minute we scored, we just did our usual casual sit back, and that's too easy. So we've been done off 2 teams at the bottom end of the table in 7 days.
It's not good. Of course, the results have come in this afternoon. You will be playing Wednesday night versus Redditch. Their results have not gone for them this afternoon, but it sounds like that the game versus Weymouth will now be off. It's another Saturday afternoon where you're not going to have a game of football to play.
Unless Jerry Lucas can obviously find us a fixture, which I don't imagine there'll be too many options for us to play, that'll be the case. Off the back of 2 results that we've had, a game against Weymouth getting called off at the minute is probably the least of my worries. So we go for Redditch now. We get the boys in on Monday. I probably expect a busy weekend on the phone. Myself, Dave, and whoever wants to listen to me. and we'll take it again from Monday. So we'll see how the boys react on Wednesday now.
Thanks very much, Ty.
Thanks, Joe.
Right.